And blessed to be a part of your day here on KIDO Talk Radio. Let's start the day off the right way with the Eagle High School Premium Blend Choir. Why don't we take it away in honor of America?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
There we have it from Eagle, Idaho. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. What a wonderful way to start the day here on KIDO Talk Radio, promoting our schools, securing our future. We're joined by the principal of Eagle High, Mr. Beck, Terry Beck. Good to have you with us once again, and we're so grateful to be back at Eagle High School. How are you?
I'm great, Kevin. Thanks. I appreciate you guys being here. We love having you here.
You know, here we are. Half, I guess, of the school year is winding down. What's the report card so far?
Report card is Eagle's doing fine. We have a great student body. You heard some of our students sing in the background. Our kids are very involved in our school, and we're really appreciative of the parents of both Eagle and the Star communities to bring up great students and help support our school.
Well, isn't that amazing that both Eagle and Star continue to grow? This is where the growth is happening in the West Ada School District.
It is. We're growing a lot. Obviously, we're building a new high school here in a couple of years. But yeah, this area has grown a lot since I've been here. We've had a lot more kids, and then we've lost a few to another school when it was built, and then now we're growing again out here in the West.
Is it a struggle to keep up with the growth? And I know that sounds like a very easy question, but for people that maybe they only cover or follow education when they see something in the paper or TV, this is your chance to reach them.
Well, probably the biggest challenge is probably finding teachers. We have growing all the time. Where this whole valley is growing and trying to find really good teachers, and we think we found some really good teachers, and there's more coming, and that's probably one of our biggest challenges. And then to keep up with the new technologies and the new things that help make education better and better all the time.
Well, and that is, it's and. I don't know about you, Mr. Beck, but it's a struggle sometimes for all of us, it seems, to keep our attention fixated on things. I couldn't imagine the challenge a teacher has, whether it's learning about, teaching physics today or, in fact, teaching somebody about the War of 1812.
Well, those things don't go away. I mean, all those concepts are still here. We still teach math. We still teach English. We still teach history, as you said. Just we've added a lot more resources. We're trying to reach out to make it a real experience for students instead of just reading a textbook. And so, our students most of them all have their own laptops, and with our new cell phones, they can reach out. And so technology brings education into a real life situation more so than years past.
Right. We used to talk about this all the time. You're training these kids for jobs that we don't even know, will exist in 5 years.
That's correct. And so, like I said, our foundations are the same. We got to teach the foundations, but we got to reach out to what's out there. And like I said, with the resources we have now, we hopefully we can bring that to our students and have them prepared for their futures.
Now, Terry Beck joining us, principal here at Eagle High School, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 5:80 a.m. Our time is 6:10 with Kevin Miller in the morning. But, you're always promoting here at Eagle High School. So do you have a concert or choir or some type of assembly coming up? I always want to make sure we get that in.
And we have our concerts, our Christmas concerts with our choir, band, orchestras are all begin next week. We do have our winter activity schedules are going in place. We have a lot of parents and families coming in for those events. And then we do have a little winter assembly for our students here. But I think all of our programs kind of promote themselves, and that kind of makes us, it's made us quite successful. We all work together and try to include all of our, like I said already, the Eagle and Star communities, and get everybody behind us and make the school a great place to work at and be at.
It is. We love Eagle High School. You know, one of the things that is amazing is all the new people moving in. Have you found that when you have people moving in to Eagle and to Star and new kids coming in, has that been an adjustment at all?
Not really. We've always had a lot of outside people in. You know, our staff's from around the country. They're not all from right here in Idaho. A lot of them are, but we have. We just bring them in, and we try to connect with those people, those students, those parents, and try to make them feel welcome, and try to get them involved in their school.
Well, speaking of which, you guys have a very active group when it comes to, promoting and supporting sports, promoting the arts and such. Is that just unique to Eagle, do you think? Or
I don't think that. I think it's part of the high school experience, and I think all of our schools in the Valley and try to promote all those things, and try to make our, like we tell our students, get involved in your school. This is your school. So whatever it is, if you're an athlete, if you're a drama student, if you're a dancer, if you're an art student, or just an academic student, this is your school. Make the most of it. Get involved somehow in a club. And we have 35 different clubs. Get involved, and it'll make your experience a lot more enjoyable, and it's going to prepare you better for your future.
Anything else you'd like to share? You're fired up this morning.
Hey, it's Friday. It's Friday, and it's good to be here. I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm looking forward to showing up some of our students and some of our staff, and appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thank you, Mr. Beck. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Phone number's here, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Kevin Miller in the morning here as we continue on talking about the issues that matter to you. Yesterday was a solemn day as people remembered President Bush. Remember, he was the funeral was at the National Cathedral. This time it was at his home in Houston, Texas.
Today, after 94 years, the heavy hand of time has claimed the life of my Gamps. But in death as in life, my grandfather has won.
We rejoice, Mr. President, that you are safely tucked in now and through the ages with God's loving arms around you. Because our glory, George, was to have had you as our president and as such a friend.
We grieve the loss of a great statesman and leader. President Bush preached the values of duty, sacrifice, commitment, and patriotism.
You feel like you've lost a mentor, and you feel like you've lost someone who cares very much about the organization you're in.
There we have it, remembering President Bush, who meant so much to a lot of folks. And by the way, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, Kevin Miller in the morning here from Eagle High School. We'll be taking your calls about the issues that matter to you, and we always love it when people debate us. And, talking about this issue about, President Bush. We had so many people saying, Kevin Miller, President Bush wasn't the, the president that we wanted him to be. President Bush wasn't this or that. But remember, here you have so many people coming together, thanking people. And there you have his friend James Baker.
George Bush was a charter member of the greatest generation. As we gather here to salute him, his incredible service to our nation and the world are already etched in the marble of time.
And there we have it, in the marble of time, George Herbert Walker Bush. Amazing when you think about his dedication, his contribution to the United States of America. It is amazing. By the way, speaking of amazing, we're going to have our friend, Dr. Jerome Corsi, joining us in the 8 o'clock hour. That's right, our great friend, Dr. Corsi, will be joining us. He will be talking a little bit about, this issue involving Robert Mueller and what it's like for Robert Mueller to be coming after somebody who has done nothing wrong. He will share that with us in the 8 o'clock hour. Now, I know what you're saying. Kevin Miller, I can't wait till 8 o'clock. I can't be there. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. We'll have it for you on our website, KIDOTalkRadio.com. Now, coming up next, have people gone really crazy when it comes to being politically correct? Earlier this week we were talking about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And not only do we have George here, soon to be the producer emeritus of the remote broadcast schedule, but we have Chandler here, and along with Ray Amaya back at the broadcast center. I mean, who doesn't love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right? So we have people saying that Rudolph is bad. Now we have somebody, a principal, who's banned candy canes. He's banned candy canes because the J stands for Jesus. That's right. So we're going to talk a little bit about, I guess you'd say, liberal lunacy from our friend Tucker Carlson. But, I mean, whether you're conservative, whether you're a liberal, whether you're an agnostic when it comes to politics, I mean, we're making candy canes political now. Let's go to Jim in Middleton with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you this morning?
A little cold, but grateful to be inside here at Eagle High School.
Yep, I know the feeling. I'm kind of bundled up myself. Hey, listen, Kevin, you had somebody on there yesterday. I forget his name, but he was talking about, how fundamentally wrong our politicians are today. They're not following the law. They're not following our Constitution. And this is very disheartening and scary. And this doesn't exactly tie in with Bush, and rest his soul. I don't dislike the man or hate the man by any means, but you hear Nancy Pelosi talking about what a great guy he is. Why can't these people work together and do this when they're alive? Okay, why can't these people on both sides of the aisle uphold our laws and our Constitution? And you're talking about Rudolph, and you're talking about that other song about Baby It's Cold. Where this all ties, why are we even having discussions about a candy cane that has a J in it and Rudolph? There is something so fundamentally wrong with our politicians, our representatives in office. It's disheartening and it's fearful, Kevin.
Well, and look, I don't know if you ever read 1984, Jim. I didn't, but I heard about it. I read Huxley's Brave New World. And we're seeing that today where the nanny state controls everything when we're going after a popular cartoon and when we're going after candy canes. It just shows you how absurd the world has become.
Well, Kevin, think about this. This has been going on since the Caesars and the kings of Europe and England and so forth. These people want power and dominion over people, okay? And people just seem to give it to them. There's nothing new with this scenario. It's just a replay in a different era, different year, and people still don't get it. They still put their faith in people that want to control every aspect of their lives. And anyway, it's shameful and it's disheartening to see people go down the same path over and over and over again for thousands of years. Man really hasn't changed much, Kevin, if you think about it. And I'm not talking about technology and medicines and things like that. I'm talking about the person themselves. I hope I'm wrong there, but I don't think so. But I wanted to add that and put things in perspective. And I like the fella. He hit the nail on the head, how wrong things are and just bizarre. But anyway, you have a great day, Kevin.
Jim, stay warm on the bus.
My bus doesn't get very warm, Kevin, let me tell you. But anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to hear from Jim from Middleton. Phone numbers here, 580-5436. 580-KIDO. First, Rudolph, now candy canes. We'll tell you what they're banning next. By the way, we'll hear more from our friends Premium Blend, the Premium Blend Choir here at Eagle High School. If this is the first time you're listening, we do this once a week. We do over 20 schools a year. where we take the tour. Thanks to our friends at CapEd Credit Union and Team Mazda Subaru, promoting our schools, securing our future. We're at Eagle High School today. I want to thank Valley View High School. Wonderful time there on Wednesday. We had a little double up this week, but we do appreciate them. And you're going to hear some more of the choir coming up as we honor our roots of Idaho's first radio station. Actually, KIDO Talk Radio was founded by kids at Boise High School, which is amazing, number one. And number two, the only radio station in America, the only broadcast entity founded by kids. So we honor our educational roots here this morning on December 7th, 2018. You're listening to Kevin Miller on 107.5 FM, 580 AM KIDO Talk Radio. All right, thank you very much. That is the Premium Blend Choir from Eagle High School. Good morning, Kevin Miller with you here. KIDO Talk Radio, phone numbers 580-5436. 580-KIDO, as we, promote our schools, secure our future. Do want to remind you, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll have our friend Dr. Jerome Corsi, who will tell us what it's like to be interviewed by the special prosecutor. That will be an exclusive only you'll hear here on KIDO Talk Radio.
Special counsel Robert Mueller's team will be submitting memos in federal court documenting their claims that former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort violated his plea deal. Those memos expected to detail what Mueller's team has been calling repeated lies by Manafort, who was supposed to get a reduced sentence for tax and bank fraud charges in exchange for cooperating with him. Manafort's lawyers are saying the special counsel used strong-arm tactics to get information out of Manafort that he doesn't actually have. He's supposed to be sentenced next year. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
Thank you, Jill. You're listening to 107.5 FM, 580 AM. KIDO Talk Radio. Let's get you to work safely and on time.
07's Eric Gabbard.
And I'm Kevin Miller here from Eagle High School. By the way, December 7th, 1941, a significant day, a day that we, as kids, learned so much about. But today, it seems it has gotten further and further behind. But let us recall what happened 77 years ago.
On December 8, 1941, President Roosevelt would tell members of Congress that we were attacked at Pearl Harbor on the 7th.
A date which will live in infamy.
He declared war on Japan, and that officially brought us into World War II. In the attack, nearly 2,400 troops were killed. Remembrance ceremonies are planned for Pearl Harbor, but Hawaii News Now reports none of the survivors of the attack will be there. More remains of those killed at Pearl Harbor are being exhumed as technology has allowed defense officials to identify them so they can be reburied with family. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Thank you, Gary. So when we think about Pearl Harbor, and one of the great things about living here in Idaho is it's relatively affordable to go to Hawaii. People love to go to Hawaii, and it's kind of like east of the Great River. People would go to Michigan, or they'd go to North Carolina, or they'd go to, down to Myrtle Beach or what have you. So for us, it's going to Hawaii. And for those of you that have been to Pearl Harbor, for those of you that remember, or your father, or, your mom, but more than likely your father fought in the war. We had the wax and we had some other things, other ways that women could serve. But you go back to that day. And you go back to the pivotal role that radio played in that world. The world phones. It was amazing when you think about it. Just like that, it just kind of, the mic just went dead for a second. We're so dependent on technology. But when you heard about Pearl Harbor, chances are you heard about it on this radio station. Idaho's first radio station. Maybe there were 2 or 3 at the time in the 40s, but this radio station here has been serving the Treasure Valley since 1928. And the words of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a day that will live in infamy. So at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, really Pearl Harbor ended American isolationism. Sure, we had World War I, but we went back to hanging out and doing our own things. So have we learned the lessons of Pearl Harbor? Today, the Japanese are some of our most trusted allies. Still, my man, Postcard Man, gives me a hard time for driving Japanese vehicles. We have a much more integrated global society, but when you hear those words, again, so much more distant than they were when they first occurred, what goes on in your mind? And maybe you've been to Pearl Harbor. I'd love for you to share your thoughts about Pearl Harbor with us today, right now during this segment, while we're focused in on education, while we're, listening to the kids here. What does it mean to you? 77 years ago today, still an attack that will live in infamy, only eclipsed in American history by the September 11th attacks. But when you hear those sounds, and, God bless the greatest generation, we lost so many, and we continue to lose so many of those people and what they did. And I always go back to the World War II memorial. And, again, I do a horrible job of reliving, but here's how they paraphrase it. In between, and they have it in between the Washington Memorial and the Lincoln Memorial, and they talk about the significance of it. And they say, here you have, between the memorial to the founder, Washington, and the great protector of our Union, Lincoln, a shrine to ordinary Americans from all over the country that came together to save the world from fascism. Those are the lessons of World War II. And we honor all those who have served and continue to serve. We are live this morning from Eagle High School. We're going to hear more of Premium Blend. We're just getting started. Won't you join us? And don't be a stranger on the phones. 580-5436. 580-KIDO. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. There we have it, Premium Blend, the Premium Blend Choir from Eagle High School. Thank you very much, with a very special message to Liberal Steve, who will be on very soon. Also, Security Guard Mike, Doug from Mountain Home. First, we go to Tanya J. Powers, joining us from Fox News Radio. Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Nice of you to share with us on Twitter you're eating hash browns this morning.
Just the one hash brown.
Yeah, I was very disappointed. I thought of you more of as an oatmeal person.
And I tweeted you back, and I said that's what I had yesterday.
I see. You can never get anything by these news people, folks.
Variety is the spice of life. That is what we hear. So for all of the the goodness, and then the oatmeal consumption and the fruit and the yogurt and everything else, then you got to have a hash brown from time to time. I mean, let's be real.
Well, thank you for that great announcement from the FDA.
I am not one to mince words when it comes to the food pyramid. Okay.
Well, there we have it. Hashtag variety. So here we have not a breaking news story, but a story that's breaking through, if you will. You've got a Honduran woman. She's 19 in the caravan. She scales the wall, and I don't know which wall she scaled and how big it was, to give birth in America after a 2,000-mile trip. Can you say anticipation?
Yeah, I would like to know more about the specifics of the said wall as well, because she's 19. She, like you said, 8 months pregnant. She has come from Central America with her husband and 2-year-old son. And I've had 2 children. I can't personally imagine walking a long distance, being that far along in a pregnancy, much less doing it in the conditions that apparently they have done this in. They are seeking asylum. They're hoping to be able to spend the time while their immigration case is being handled with their relatives. They're trying to get to Columbus, Ohio, where the relatives are. So that's kind of the end game. They have asked for asylum. They arrested her on the 26th when she came in to the country illegally near Imperial Beach, California. That's across from the border from Tijuana.
Well, Ohio, where all good things come from. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Obviously, you've got a lot of people buzzing back and forth on this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people have given opinions on all sides of this. I mean, we've seen what the president said in October about ending birthright citizenship. A lot of people believe, and when I say people, I mean scholars, people who study this kind of thing say it would take more than just an executive order for that. That would be more like a constitutional amendment, because that's kind of a big deal. There are a lot of the migrants still in the shelter there in Tijuana. As of last week, about 6,000 of them, about 1,000 were kids. This woman, I believe, is the first one that we've heard of that has, I guess, from that group of migrants in the caravan to, give birth in the U.S. after coming over here illegally. But again, they're seeking asylum, and that's kind of where this stands right now.
Indeed. For those of us that have never really been east of the Great River, and for those of us that don't really want to go east of the Great River ever again, there are some good things going on. I mean, Christmas at the Capitol, I've been there a couple times, but the nation's capital. But you live in the capital of, as your people would refer to it, Yankeedom. So what's Christmas like in New York? Could you paint the picture for us, Rockefeller Center? I'm sure you're hanging out with Savannah Guthrie and Al Roker and all those folks.
Oh, of course. We're all buddies. I mean, aside from the fact that we've never met, I'm sure we would be had we actually met. They seem like cool people. I'm going to give you I was just over there. Matter of fact, last night I went over to Rockefeller Center near the tree. I had to go run an errand that was in that area, and I'm going to give you an idea. So I'll paint the picture for you of what it's like around this time of the year, because you've got, there's Christmas music that comes from different places. Some people are playing it on the sidewalk. Some stores, have it. It's like a festive atmosphere. It was pretty cold last night, so, no problem imagining the cold. But I want you to think about standing, and I want you to think about the 10 of your closest friends.
I only have maybe 2.
People, well, okay, you're going to have to do some math then, and some imagination. And think about all of them standing in a spot that's about the size of a closet. I don't mean a big closet, like a small closet. So you're all kind of shoehorned in there. And then every step you take, they take one. So everywhere you're going, there's constantly a group of people surrounding you, like, very, very close to you. That's kind of what it's like. Sort of like being in a mass of humanity that is equal parts festive and freezing.
And here I thought you were going to talk about the Rockefeller tree, the skating, all those wonderful
very
things.
Cool.
And yet we talk about you in a closet with 10 people that are your strangers.
You're missing the point. You're just the point is just right over your head there. Yeah, you need a hash brown, Kevin. That's what the problem is. Center yourself with a hash brown today.
You are correct. Tanya J. Powers, to be continued. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. From Tanya J. Powers to John Hart's joining us, Activities Director here at Eagle High School. By the way, Liberal Steve, Doug, and Security Guard Mike, hang on. We do want to talk about 7 Cares with Security Guard Mike. So, Mr. Hart's, welcome. Good to have you with us, sir.
It's good to be with you guys as well.
So, Activities Director, you got sports, you got the arts, you got a lot of things going on here.
Yeah, it's quite the plateful, but great people to work with here.
Well, Eagle High has such a great tradition of community involvement. I'm sure you don't have a problem with people, whether it's parents, whether it's teachers, supporting all your programs.
Yeah, it's quite the community. It's kind of like our town. It's one of the few schools in the West Ada District where we have our own town, and it's the support from the community is pretty unbelievable down here.
So what are the benefits? So obviously we've heard this morning, we continue to hear from Premium Blend, but to have kids doing stuff outside of school, representing their school.
Well, it helps with their academics. It's proven like the more that they're involved in activities, their academics are better. It's just a better vibe within the school. So we love it when all these kids are involved in stuff and doing things, and it's been great here at Eagle. Our involvement is very high.
What motivates you?
I just love the people I work with, the admin team here, the coaches here, unbelievable, the advisors, my family, getting on the radio this morning.
Sure.
It got me up, so.
Yeah, you're happy about that?
Oh, extremely.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Well, we won't keep you very long. Is there anything that you'd like to share with us, sir? Since you're with us, you might as well share anything you'd like to today.
Oh, wow. There's so much I could share. I really enjoyed your last segment. That was a good one.
Well,
with
thank you.
The lady from New York.
Well, we have to keep her in line.
Yeah. No, I just enjoy working at Eagle High School. The kids here are unbelievable. I think our district does a good job with the activities overall, and you're getting a good taste for our choir this morning and how good they are. Probably get our band a little bit later, so we'll see.
Yeah, we always have the big rivalry between the choir and the band. It's not a rivalry, but we have to say that to kind of keep people listening.
TJ and Seth have their big rivalry, yeah.
Yeah, they do,
yeah.
And they always show up. Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Hartz, we appreciate you. Let's go to the phone. Security Guard Mike joins us now on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Security Guard Mike.
Hey, Kevin Miller, on this wonderful Friday, December the 7th, which is kind of not so wonderful in some ways, but I did want to let you know that I lived in Hawaii for 3 years, and I did get to go to the Arizona Memorial a few times, and quite a few times actually, and just standing over the Arizona Memorial, it gives you such a solemn feeling to know that those guys, they died they weren't even expecting it, for this to happen to them, and then it happened. And I think it forever changed the Navy to be more vigilant and more responding when people they did have a few indications that there might be something weird going on, but they weren't sure because radars were kind of new. But now it's in lockdown. Now that won't ever happen again. At least I hope it doesn't. Anyway, I just want to let you know that it's a somber feeling to be there, and it's quite sobering to just think about those men that are in the Arizona still, and in the it's just sombering. Anyway, as far as that goes, tomorrow 7 Cares Idaho shares Albertson Stadium. Don't forget to get out there and help all the people with the rescue mission and all the different charities around the town. It's going to be a great day, and I know I'll see you there tomorrow. It's going to be fun. And the people of Idaho, I know they'll respond as they always do, with kindness and love and caring to this time of the year. And Kevin, it's great to see you.
You'll be cheering us on and giving us the hugs, and we can't wait to see you, Security Guard Mike.
All right. Hey, keep up your great school thing, your great school project, and talking to all the high schools and the colleges around town. It really brings a great feeling to know that you're in the community, as always. You take care, Kevin Miller. Have a great day, and talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Security Guard Mike. Talk to you tomorrow. Let's go to Doug in Mountain Home on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Good morning, Doug.
Yeah, how are you this morning? Yeah, my dad was a World War II vet, and this day, I hope this country never does forget it, Kevin. Thank you for going to the high schools, and hopefully some of them kids get taught this stuff. I know it don't get taught very much, but thanks. My dad lost an identical twin. They were in the Navy. He was in all over. He was in the Pacific, the Atlantic. He helped his fleet captured U-boat 505, and they got one of the Enigma machines off of there. That was quite an ordeal. He did 56 catapults. He was a machine gunner in a torpedo plane. 3 deck crashes, one of them upside down and slid off the deck, Kevin, into the ocean.
That's amazing.
It is. We've lost this generation. He's been dead since 07. But he never really did talk about it. Most of them guys don't until right at the last. And then it seemed like it just sort of bubbled out of him quite a bit. But, he lost his twin brother, Bill. They were from Washington, the state of Washington. He lost him in it. But both of his other brother, George, they're all gone now. But his other brother, George, was in it, too. They were the greatest generation. But I don't know. This country sure seems to want to forget them. And it's just like our young men now. You heard me call in, Kevin. It's really because I'm I'm considered a Vietnam vet, you know, and even though I never seen Vietnam, I seen Guam in the Air Force. And yeah, I don't know. Kids wake up. That's why you have freedom. You know,
Doug, we appreciate that. God bless, and thank you for your service, and thank you for reminding us of your dad's service.
Yeah.
You have a great day. We continue on at 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. Let's go to Liberal Steve, who joins us now. Good morning, Liberal Steve.
Good morning, Idaho. Leaving the airport at 6:30 this morning. The Japanese fellow in front of me, I said, just a minute, let me get the door for you. He says, thank you. I think he's making a pun on the day, don't you? It's a joke. It's a Pearl Harbor joke. Come on, Idaho. Laugh. It's like sugar canes in public schools. They don't belong there. It's not a Christian school. The red stripes stand for the blood of Jesus, and the white, the resurrection. You can't have that stuff. And she not only banned that, she banned anything that had to do with religion. And that's the way it is.
All right, Liberal Steve, thank you for the call. We go to R&R with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, R&R.
My goodness. I am very cognizant right now that Mr. Hart knows the heart and soul of my eldest granddaughter, and she's one gifted virtuoso that has been able to practice her skill set with Mr. Hart. My love and appreciation to his efforts to get up and beyond the news. And I'm also cognizant that Wyatt and his generation are listening because of you, Kevin, and that sweetheart known as Ray. It's just phenomenal for me to be at basically 50-degree ambient temperature and finally retired, and to have access to the entire Treasure Valley. There's a word that I'm going to have people inside the prison system, including the FBI and Treasure Valley. I was aware that some location at 10 Mile and blah, 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 the word is shenanigan. People will just lay over and say absolutely nothing in the core of Gem County about the shenanigans. There is a giant poster coming into Gem County that's got Paulette Jordan's name right along the whole county line, coming down out of the mountain. Paulette Jordan's banner signs clear to the center of town, right into the center of Gem County. What is Paulette Jordan's shenanigan got to do with 10 Mile?
That's a great point, R&R. I got to run. You're listening to Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio.